and welcome back to my show. I'm Sydney Ray, and today in our show we will be making cooked pudding from a commercial package. Today in our show we have a very special guest, Tyler, who is an occupational therapist. And I bet none of you in our audience knew that by making this pudding, we can test the patient's cognitive capabilities of those with senile dementia of the Alzheimer's type. So Tyler, how about you tell us a little bit more about the Kitchen Task Assessment?
Thank you, Sydney, for having me. The purpose of this assessment is to help the caregiver develop strategies for managing the patient. This is both reliable and valid. The KTA will be performed by having the patient make the cooked pudding, and I will be evaluating the highest level of cognitive support or assistance that is needed for each task.
Oh wow, this assessment sounds so interesting. I'm so glad that the KTA can help OTs like yourself help caregivers address different ADL and IADL performance levels. And a bonus, I have also seen this assessment used with home healthcare teams to assist generally in discharge planning, and this can also be used with the functional behavior profile.
And this generates scores to measure change in performance over time, either progression of the disease or improvement.
This is so exciting. Well, we are going to get all set up, and after our commercial break, we will see the Kitchen Task Assessment performed live and in person.
And now, a message from our sponsor, Jell-O.
The performance of the KTA is scored by initiation. Did he or she begin the task when asked to begin? Organization. Did he or she gather the necessary items, tools, ingredients to do the job? Performance of all steps. Did he or she do everything that was necessary to complete the task alone, or did you have to assist the patient? Major steps include measuring, stirring, and pouring. Sequencing. Did he or she have to do everything in the order that made sense given the task? Judgment and safety. Was he or she safe and aware of the potential dangers based on how the person manages the stove and the hot pudding? Completion. Did he or she recognize that the task was finished?
Jell-O, America's favorite dessert. And now, a message from our headline sponsor, Saginaw Valley State University.
The level of support required from the tester for each component is scored as follows. 0, independent or completely competent. 1, required verbal cue. 2, required physical assistance. 3, totally incapable. So the higher the score, the more impaired the performance. Scores totals range from 0 to 18.
Saginaw Valley State University, soar together.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Sydney Ray. Thanks for tuning back into our show. Hopefully you enjoyed the messages from our sponsors. So first to begin, we have all of our supplies laid out to the left, and we have our lovely patient who is backstage. He is super excited to come on our show. And before we do begin, I want to state that we have already predetermined his ability to respond to physical and verbal cues by asking him to wash his hands. If he could not have done this, we could not have performed the Kitchen Task Assessment today, and we wouldn't have had anything for our show today. So now as we tune into Tyler and Dave performing the Kitchen Task Assessment, I just want to go over a couple of things that Tyler can instruct the patient to do. Tyler can tell the patient that to mix the pudding and then to put the pudding into 4 bowls. He can say that the milk is in the refrigerator, that the stove works and what burner to use. He can say that the instructions are on the box and on the wall. And he can also tell the patient when to begin.
One thing, though, is I will interject only if the patient cannot determine that he can do it by himself. I will wait 5 seconds unless it is a safety issue.
Sounds good. Okay, that was so awesome. I can really see how this assessment can be so useful for occupational therapists when assessing those with senile dementia of the Alzheimer's type. And this pudding is so good. Thanks, Tyler, for being on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
Tune in next week.